Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age so gracefully, remaining vibrant and healthy well into their 90s, while others struggle with health issues decades earlier? What if I told you that the first hour after you wake up could determine whether you'll join the ranks of those vibrant 90-year-olds? The science is clear. Your morning routine might be the difference between an average lifespan and extraordinary longevity. I've spent years researching the habits of centenarians and nonagenarians across the globe, from the sun-drenched villages of Sardinia to the tropical islands of Okinawa. What's fascinating is that despite cultural differences, these long-lived individuals share remarkably similar morning rituals. These aren't complicated biohacks or expensive supplements. They're simple, consistent habits that anyone can adopt, regardless of age or circumstance. In today's video, I'll share 7 science-backed morning habits practiced by the world's longest-living people. One of these takes just 30 seconds to complete but could dramatically improve your chances of living past 90. And habit number 6? Most researchers believe it might be the most powerful predictor of longevity, yet most people have never even heard of it. Before we dive in, tap the like button if you're committed to aging well, and comment longevity if you're ready to transform your morning routine. Subscribe to Wise Elderly Tips for more evidence-based strategies to help you thrive in your golden years. Habit number 1, rise early with purpose. The first habit that consistently appears among people who live into their 90s and beyond is rising early with purpose. In the blue zones, regions where people routinely live past 100, mornings aren't rushed affairs. Take Maria from Sardinia, who at 97 still wakes before dawn, not because she has to, but because she wants those precious quiet moments to herself. When researchers asked her why, she simply said, "The morning belongs to me. The rest of the day belongs to others." The science behind this is compelling. Our bodies are naturally aligned with the sun's patterns, and research shows early risers tend to have better mental health and more consistent sleep cycles. A study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that morning people have a 12 to 27% lower risk of developing depression over their lifetime. Think about that. Simply adjusting when you wake up could significantly impact your mental health trajectory as you age. Now, many people misunderstand this habit. They think that sleeping in is a luxury they've earned, especially in retirement. But what they're actually doing is throwing off their circadian rhythm, that internal clock that regulates nearly every function in your body. When your circadian rhythm is disrupted, it affects everything from hormone production to cognitive function, potentially shaving years off your life. If you're not naturally a morning person, don't worry. Start gradually by setting your alarm just 15 minutes earlier each week until you reach your ideal wake time. The goal isn't just to wake early but to create a calm morning that sets a positive tone for your day. Those in blue zones move slowly in the morning, giving themselves plenty of time for reflection, preparation, and family connection. They're never rushing out the door with a piece of toast in hand. An elderly gentleman I worked with in my practice, Harold, started waking up 30 minutes earlier at age 72. At first, he resisted the change, but after a month, he told me, "These morning moments have become the most precious part of my day. For the first time in decades, I feel like I'm living my life instead of just responding to it." At 91, Harold still maintains this early morning ritual, and his cognitive function tests rival those of much younger men. Now that you're awake at the optimal time, the very next thing you do is critical for cellular health and longevity. Habit number 2, strategic morning hydration. This is our 30-second habit that could change everything. Dr. Kien View, a longevity physician I had the privilege of interviewing last year, starts every single morning the same way, by drinking 16 ounces of water with added minerals. It's the first decision he makes each day, and he credits it with his sustained energy and mental clarity well into his 7th decade. Here's why this matters. During sleep, your body becomes progressively dehydrated. You lose water through respiration and perspiration, even as you dream. By morning, most people are in a state of mild dehydration, which researchers at the University of Connecticut found can impair mood, energy, and cognitive function by up to 28%. This morning dehydration is a primary cause of that brain fog many of us experience when we first wake up. But beyond cognitive function, proper hydration first thing supports your kidneys in eliminating toxins that accumulated overnight. It jumpstarts your metabolism, potentially increasing it by up to 24% for the next 90 minutes, according to research from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. Many people make the mistake of reaching for coffee first, but caffeine is a diuretic, meaning it can further dehydrate you. Others think any liquid will do, but sugary drinks or acidic juices can disrupt your metabolic state and trigger inflammatory responses right when your body is most vulnerable. Here's how to implement this 30-second habit that could transform your health. Before bed, place a glass of water on your nightstand. When you wake up, before your feet even touch the floor, drink it completely. For maximum benefit, add a squeeze of lemon, which helps alkalize your body despite its acidic taste, and a small pinch of high-quality salt like Himalayan pink salt, which provides trace minerals your cells need to function optimally. Martha, a 94-year-old participant in our longevity study, adopted this habit in her late 70s after reading about it in a magazine. "I thought it was too simple to make a difference," she told me. "But within weeks, my chronic headaches disappeared, and my energy levels were more consistent throughout the day." 15 years later, she still practices this ritual without fail and attributes her clear mind and steady energy to this simple practice. With your cells properly hydrated, it's time to fuel your body with the right nutrients. Habit number 3, nutrient-dense breakfast. The third morning habit that predicts exceptional longevity is consuming a nutrient-dense breakfast. In Loma Linda, California, one of the world's recognized blue zones, I met Marge, a delightful 105-year-old woman who starts every morning with the same meal: slow-cooked oatmeal with chopped dates, crushed walnuts, and a splash of soy milk, followed by what she playfully calls her prune juice shooter. She's been eating this same breakfast for over 70 years. When researchers analyzed the morning meals of centenarians across different cultures, they found striking similarities despite geographical differences. Their breakfasts tend to be rich in fiber, moderate in plant protein, low in refined sugar, high in beneficial fats, consumed without rush or distraction. The scientific evidence supports this approach. A 2020 study published in the Journal of American College of Nutrition found that eating a fiber-rich breakfast is associated with a 24% reduced risk of all-cause mortality. That's significant. Simply changing what you eat in the morning could potentially add years to your life. One of the biggest misconceptions about breakfast is that it's optional or that intermittent fasting means skipping it altogether. While time-restricted eating has benefits for some, most long-lived individuals actually eat early in the day, giving their bodies time to properly metabolize their food before evening rest. Another common mistake is choosing highly processed, sugary options that cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, which accelerates aging at the cellular level through a process called glycation. The practical approach is simple: favor whole foods like oatmeal with berries and nuts, natural yogurt with seeds, or whole grain toast with avocado. The key is consuming your first meal within an hour of waking to align with your body's natural metabolic patterns. And take your time eating. In blue zones, breakfast is rarely eaten standing up or on the go. Bill, an 88-year-old former client of mine, transformed his health by changing his breakfast habits at age 70. After decades of grabbing coffee and a pastry on the run, he switched to a bowl of steel-cut oats with blueberries, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, and a drizzle of honey. "I didn't expect much," he told me, "but within months my cholesterol dropped 40 points and my doctor reduced my medications. Now I'm taking my grandkids hiking instead of watching from the sidelines." With your body properly fueled, it's time to activate your longevity pathways through the right kind of movement. Habit number 4, morning movement. This fourth habit is my personal favorite because it's so accessible yet profoundly impactful. Joseph, a 92-year-old former teacher I worked with, credits his daily 7 a.m. walk with maintaining his independence long after his peers needed assisted living. "It's like winding a clock," he told me. If I don't move in the morning, my whole day feels off. The research here is unequivocal. Morning activity primes your body for health and longevity. A landmark study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed over 88,000 adults for 14 years and found that those who exercised in the morning had the lowest risk of heart disease and cancer, the two leading causes of death as we age. This doesn't mean you need to run marathons or pump iron at dawn. The movement practices of the longest-lived people are typically gentle, consistent, and integrated into daily life. In Okinawa, many elders practice a form of Tai Chi upon waking. In Ikaria, Greece, they tend to morning gardens. In Costa Rica's Nicoya Peninsula, they begin the day with housework and walking. Many seniors believe they need intense exercise to see benefits, leading to either giving up entirely or risking injury. Others save exercise for later in the day, missing the key metabolic advantages of morning movement. The truth is, gentle movement in the morning is about setting your metabolic tone and activating specific longevity pathways in your muscles and brain. To implement this habit, start with gentle stretching right after waking to get your blood flowing after being horizontal all night. Reach your arms overhead, gently twist your torso, and do a few deep knee bends if your mobility allows. Even 5 minutes makes a difference. From there, consider adding a 10 to 20 minute walk outdoors. Walking is the primary form of exercise in every longevity hotspot in the world. It requires no equipment, can be done anywhere, and offers profound benefits from improved circulation to enhanced mood through the release of endorphins. Clara, who just celebrated her 96th birthday, told me her secret was moving before thinking. For 70 years, she's done the same routine. Before breakfast, before checking mail or news, she walks exactly 27 minutes around her neighborhood. When I asked why 27 minutes specifically, she laughed and said, "That's how long it takes to circle my neighborhood twice, dear. Nothing fancy about it." While your body is in motion, there's another element you should expose yourself to every morning that supports cellular repair and longevity. Habit number 5, early sunlight exposure. When I visited my 96-year-old neighbor Edith each morning for our research interviews, she was always sitting in the same east-facing chair, her face bathed in golden sunlight. When I asked about this habit, she simply said, "The morning sun charges my batteries for the day." It turns out, her intuitive practice is backed by cutting-edge science. Our cells are biologically tuned to respond to morning sunlight in ways that directly impact longevity. A fascinating study published in Cell Biology found that early morning sunlight exposure activates specific genes related to metabolism and immune function. The 7 to 9 a.m. window is particularly potent, as the specific wavelengths of light during this time appear to help synchronize our internal clock with the Earth's 24-hour cycle. This synchronization does remarkable things. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm, increases vitamin D production, and triggers the release of serotonin, which later converts to melatonin for better sleep. Research from the University of Colorado showed that people who got bright light exposure in the morning experienced up to 58% improved melatonin production at night, enhancing deep sleep cycles where cellular repair happens. Many people avoid morning sun due to fear of skin damage, or they get their light through windows, which filter out up to 99% of the beneficial UVB rays. Others rely entirely on artificial light, which doesn't provide the same spectrum needed for circadian entrainment. While sunscreen is important for extended exposure, brief morning sun contact without barriers offers unique biological benefits. The practical solution is wonderfully simple. Spend just 10 to 15 minutes outside in direct morning sunlight, without sunglasses, ideally between 7 to 9 a.m. This simple act of stepping outside has powerful downstream effects on how your body handles inflammation, stress response, and cellular aging. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is significantly brighter than indoor lighting and provides important circadian benefits. Robert, an 87-year-old former accountant who participated in our longevity habit study, made it a practice to eat his breakfast on his east-facing porch regardless of weather. "Friends think I'm eccentric sitting out there in winter," he chuckled, but I haven't needed sleeping pills in years, and my doctor is amazed at my vitamin D levels without supplements. With your body energized by movement and sunlight, it's time to focus on something many longevity researchers consider the most crucial morning habit of all. Habit number 6, finding your ikigai. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the world's oldest people, there's no word for retirement. Instead, they embrace the concept of ikigai, a reason for being that gets them out of bed each morning with purpose and anticipation. This concept is so powerful that researchers believe it might be the most significant predictor of longevity yet discovered. Dan Buettner, who pioneered research on blue zones, discovered that having a clear sense of purpose could add up to 7 years to your life expectancy. This isn't just positive thinking, it's biology. When you wake with purpose, your brain releases dopamine and other neurotransmitters that literally turn on longevity genes and reduce inflammatory markers associated with age-related disease. A compelling study from the University of California found that participants with a strong sense of purpose had a 15% lower risk of death compared to those without clear purpose. Even more striking, their telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that typically shorten with age, showed less deterioration, suggesting slower cellular aging. Many people mistakenly believe purpose must be grand or world-changing. Others think retirement means abandoning purpose altogether, entering what I call the vacation phase, that paradoxically accelerates aging by removing meaningful contribution from daily life. In reality, ikigai is often found in simple, consistent acts that connect you to something larger than yourself. To implement this habit, take a moment each morning to connect with your purpose. This might be as simple as asking yourself, who needs me today, or what contribution can I make, however small. Whether it's tending a garden that feeds your family, mentoring a younger person, creating art that brings beauty to your community, or simply being fully present for loved ones, purpose comes in many forms. Start by embracing these 5 pillars, starting small, accepting yourself, connecting with others and the planet, finding joy in little things, and being present. Write down your ikigai and keep it visible where you'll see it first thing in the morning. Haru, a 101-year-old fisherman I met in Okinawa, still rises at 5 a.m. to check his small nets, bringing fresh fish to 3 elderly neighbors who can no longer fish themselves. I am needed, he told me through a translator. If I stay in bed, who will feed Yumi-san? This gets me up when my old bones want to rest. His purpose is simple but profound, and it's kept him vital for over a century. With your mind focused on purpose, there's one final morning practice that can transform your mental and emotional readiness for the day. Habit number 7, practice mindfulness. Margaret, a vibrant 94-year-old I interviewed for this channel, told me her secret was 5 minutes of nothing each morning. I just sit and breathe before the world demands anything of me. Those 5 minutes of peace keep me young, she explained. When I looked at her medical records, with permission, her physiological age markers were those of someone decades younger. Incorporating mindfulness techniques into your morning routine can significantly reduce stress and anxiety, which are known accelerators of aging. A groundbreaking study from Harvard Medical School found that just 8 weeks of regular meditation actually changed gene expression, activating genes associated with longevity while deactivating genes linked to inflammation and stress responses. Morning meditation has been shown to lower cortisol levels by up to 20%, significant because chronic elevated cortisol damages nearly every system in the body, from cognitive function to immune response. Another study from UCLA found that long-term meditators had better preserved brain tissue as they aged compared to non-meditators, suggesting that this practice might actually slow brain aging. Many people feel they're too busy for morning mindfulness, or they believe meditation must involve sitting cross-legged for hours chanting mantras. Others make the critical mistake of checking their phones immediately upon waking, flooding their brains with stress-inducing information before they've even fully awakened. In a study from IDC Research, 80% of smartphone users check their phones within 15 minutes of waking, triggering the stress response first thing in the morning. The practical solution is beautifully simple: start with just 2 to 3 minutes of deep breathing or meditation after waking. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath or repeat a simple phrase that centers you. Resist checking your phone until after you've completed your morning routine. Instead, use those first moments for gratitude, intention setting, or simply being present. Frances, an 89-year-old former nurse, created a morning mindfulness routine after suffering from anxiety in her 70s. "I was skeptical at first," she told me. "How could sitting quietly for a few minutes make any difference? But within weeks, my blood pressure stabilized, and I felt in control of my day rather than at its mercy." Today at 89, she maintains the cognitive function and emotional resilience of someone much younger. The power of these 7 habits together. Now that we've covered these 7 powerful morning habits, let's talk about how they work together to potentially add years, even decades, to your life. I understand that changing lifelong habits isn't easy, especially as we age. You might be wondering if it's too late to start, or if these small morning changes can really make a difference at this point in your life. The remarkable truth about longevity research is that the human body has an incredible capacity for renewal at any age. A study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that adults who adopted healthier lifestyle habits in their 70s and 80s experienced significant improvements in health markers and quality of life, demonstrating that it's never too late to make beneficial changes. Rather than viewing these habits as a burden or another should in your life, see them as gifts you give yourself each morning, opportunities to reset your biological clock and reclaim vitality that you may have thought was lost forever. The residents of blue zones don't follow these routines out of discipline, they do it because these practices bring them joy and connection. What's particularly powerful is how these habits complement each other. The early rising gives you time for hydration, which prepares your digestive system for a nutritious breakfast. The morning movement and sunlight exposure work together to set your circadian rhythm and boost mood. Your sense of purpose motivates you to get out of bed, while mindfulness practices help you approach the day with clarity and calm. Start with just one habit tomorrow morning. Perhaps it's that 30-second water ritual or 5 minutes of gentle stretching. The following week, add another. Small, consistent actions compound over time, just as the centenarians in blue zones have demonstrated through their long, vibrant lives. I've seen remarkable transformations in people who adopted these habits in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Their energy improved, chronic health issues often diminished, and that spark of vitality returned to their eyes. As Ethel, a spry 97-year-old from my research group said, "I don't know if these habits will help me live to 100, but they certainly make today worth living fully." Remember, it's never too late to implement these practices. Studies show that even people who begin these habits in their 70s and 80s experience significant improvements in health markers and quality of life. Your body wants to heal, to thrive, to experience vitality, and these morning rituals give it the foundation to do exactly that. To summarize these 7 longevity-promoting morning habits: rise early with purpose, hydrate strategically, eat a nutrient-dense breakfast, engage in morning movement, get early sunlight exposure, connect with your ikigai, and practice mindfulness. Each habit builds upon the others, creating a powerful morning routine that mimics the practices of the world's longest-living people. Which of these 7 habits do you already practice, and which one will you implement tomorrow morning? Share in the comments below. I read every comment and would love to hear about your morning routine journey. And if you have a relative or friend who lived past 90, what morning habits did they swear by? Your insights might help others in our community. If you found value in these longevity insights, please consider subscribing to Wise Elderly Tips. Our channel is dedicated to sharing evidence-based practices that help you not just add years to your life, but life to your years. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Thank you for investing this time in your future health and longevity. Remember, the habits that predict a long life aren't complicated, they're simple, consistent actions taken day after day. Start tomorrow morning, and who knows? Perhaps we'll be celebrating your 90th birthday together someday. This is Wise Elderly Tips, wishing you health, purpose, and joy at every age. See you in the next video.